We have game 2 of the mini league here against JSH, who is the tournament organizer. Looking at the board, I want to play something with Scrying Pool. For a long time I've liked Scrying Pool and I would like to play something with it, but the board doesn't have any source of plus action, so you can't play too many terminal cards. So you would have to probably pick one and play with it, and the one that I want to pick is the Ghost Ship. And just go with that and try to constantly hit my opponent with a Ghost Ship. That is very oppressive, and it would take a very resilient deck to overcome that attack. Another good thing with the Scrying Pool is the Candlestick Makers. So with that in mind, I considered opening with a Candlestick Maker here, but I go for a silver instead. The silver is to try to get to 5 on my next turn to buy a Ghost Ship as soon as possible. However, I don't think that's the best thing to do on the board. Fortune Teller I think is a much better option than the silver. So now Spice Merchant here, instead of the potion right away, I can get some trashing going, and with the silver or the Fortune Teller, which it should have been, I can still have enough money to pick up a potion as I do here. So now my opponent, he goes for the Spice Merchant and the Fortune Teller, which is a superior opening to mine, I believe. Because Fortune Teller is an action for the Scrying Pool, it serves as a bridge between other actions. You can use it for quests, which is on the board, and is slightly disruptive at times, whereas the silver is none of those things. So here I planned on my turns 3 and 4 to pick up potion Candlestick Maker. I wanted at least one very early, just so that I don't have to maybe spend $8 to pick up a Candlestick Maker later into the game. So my opponent is able to pick up a Ghost Ship on his turn 4 here. However, I have noticed that he has not picked up a potion yet, and it makes me wonder whether or not he is ever going to pick up a potion. Time is kind of running out in a way for that, because if I pick up quite a few Scrying Pools, then it doesn't really make too much sense picking up a potion very late into the game. So there, you notice I refuse a Candlestick Maker. This is because I don't want too many of them in my deck. They are stop cards, they don't draw cards, and I need to get my deck to a state, to a position where it can withstand this constant Ghost Ship attack. My opponent now has 2. Another point with regard to the Ghost Ship attack is that perhaps I could have bought an Apothecary instead of Scrying Pool on my first 2 potion hand, just to serve as some kind of mitigation against the Ghost Ship attack, because I'm being hit with it fairly frequently here, and it's kind of locking me down, right? I have to anti-cycle, keep top decking these cards. My opponent in the meantime is building up with more Ghost Ships, more golds. He's trashing more than me because he's able to see his Spice Merchant more frequently. So things look a bit grim at this point here. So we'll just have to hope that Scrying Pool can come through for us at some point. His Fortune Teller also disrupted me quite a bit. On the first play, it flipped all my good cards. The Spice Merchant, the Potion, the Scrying Pool. That was not pleasant at all to see. So one interesting thing my opponent is doing here is that he's buying lots of Candlestick Makers. And now I spoke to him after the game, and he said he was buying it just to deny me from Candlestick Makers, which I think he has to do, because he said if you give the Scrying Pool player 10 Candlestick Makers, they win the game, which is true. I think that is 100% true. They can put all 10 of them into play every turn, or nearly every turn, and that's just a lot of money. And a lot of flexibility too, right? Coin tokens are a little bit more flexible than the actual copies of the money they represent. So he is going for that, but there is a downside to that for him, and it is that when he plays his Ghost Ship, for example, he can draw into 2 Candlestick Makers and not have the greatest turns in the world. Also, they being stop cards means that it prevents him from seeing his Ghost Ships as frequently as he would like. I assume he would like to see them like every turn just to keep attacking me here. So here someone pointed out to me this is a misplay. I could top deck 2 action cards and just draw everything. Instead I top deck 1 junk card, 1 action card, just to bypass the silver and to draw into the Spice Merchant. So slight misplay for me here. And now the Candlestick Maker pile is finished. I think it finished with 6 for my opponent and 4 Candlestick Makers for me. Now I'm not worried that I lost the split at all, because once I'm able to see my Candlestick Makers more often than my opponent, I should be in good shape here. He has 4 golds in his deck, which is a lot of gold, which he picked up from Quest on Fortune Tellers and Ghost Ship respectively. And now with those golds, he's able to buy a province. So now we come to the bidding part because there's Mountain Pass on the board. I'm to bid here, and I don't want to bid an amount where I get locked out from buying things for too long. I want to pick up more Scrying Pools. I need to because I'm being hit by this Ghost Ship attack too often to not have more Scrying Pools in my deck. So I figure 10 is a good amount. I have 2 coin tokens in the bank, and I think I can clear it within 2 turns, the 10 debt that is. And as it is, my opponent does give me the debt, so he's saying, look, you can have the debt, but I'm going to take 2 or 3 provinces anytime you take to clear the debt. So here, I have to try to get out of debt as soon as possible. I spend my tokens to pay off the debt here, which the do operator pointed out that may not be the best thing to do. Instead, I should just use the money, pay off the debt. The coin tokens aren't going anywhere, and it gives me a little bit more flexibility when it comes to me finally being able to completely come out of debt. So here you see me make another mistake. I can't put 2 action cards on top of my deck. My opponent has no way to discard whatever it is or interfere with whatever it is I put on top of my deck. So I could put the 2 action cards. Instead, I make the same play, 1 junk card, 1 action cards, and use the Scrying Pool to bypass it. So a second misplay for me there. So yeah, perhaps I should have held on to the coin tokens until this turn and then decided what to do with all the coin tokens when it comes to paying off the debt. So now we are starting to look a little bit better here. The deck has become a little bit more thin. Perhaps this is a good draw for me, and I'm able to see all my Candlestick Makers, trash a card with the Spice Merchant, and play the Ghost Ship. This is my ideal turn here, and if I can see this a bit more frequently, I think I can slow down my opponent. He only has the 1 province so far, and Ghost Ship is not pleasant for him in the same way it is not pleasant for me at all. And I think it'll do more damage to him, the anti-cycling, because of the amount of Candlestick Makers that he has. So I need to be able to play that Ghost Ship nearly every turn. So here I do pay off my debt again with the coin tokens rather than money, but here I think it is okay because I wanted to pick up a quest and I needed all 6 cards in my hand to do that. I will need some money in my deck to start buying things. My opponent smartly cut me off from the bulk of the Candlestick Makers, so I need to pick up golds to make up my economy and to start buying provinces. So here, what I'm going to do is spend some money here to pick up a second Ghost Ship. 2 copies means I'm that much more likely to play a Ghost Ship every turn, and I can use it as quest fodder at the end of my turn, perhaps if I draw everything nicely. So another province for my opponent here, and we'll see if the deck can come through here. I feel confident. Scrying Pool is good enough that if I could draw everything, I know I could stick all my Candlestick Makers into play, and more importantly, the Ghost Ship attack will come out. And if I can keep my opponent under wraps all the time on 3 card hands and anti-cycling, I feel fairly confident. And all the while, I can keep stockpiling my Candlestick Maker tokens and use the gold that I gain to buy things like provinces perhaps. So there's not a lot of things to buy if you're playing the Ghost Ship strategy. Anyways, still not everything is coming together here, but I am going to pick up a second gold with this quest on the Scrying Pool here and just pass it over to my opponent. No reason to spend any coin tokens to pick up anything there. Silver does nothing. The Fortune Teller is superfluous at this point. So you see this hand here, this is what could happen when you have a lot of Candlestick Makers in your deck, right? You just see them instead of other action cards or draw, like the Scrying Pool. Is the risk you run when you play Scrying Pool Candlestick Maker solely like this, but it happens sometimes. You have to deal with it, and one way to deal with it is by stuffing your deck with Scrying Pool. So there I could have picked up a province, but I said no, not going to pick up a province. I'm going to pick up a Scrying Pool only, try to solidify my draw. The province would not help me solidify my draw. Again, there 2 action cards could have gone back on top of the deck. You would think I would know that by now, but no. Still have lots to learn, it seems. And now, with the 4 Scrying Pools, I can draw a little bit more cards, right? Still, everything is not coming together. Still I'm not able to draw everything. At least here, I'm able to play the Ghost Ship, which is helpful. And again here, I can pick up a province, I believe, but no. Just going to play it very safe, very quietly right now, picking up another Scrying Pool, putting the total to 5 in the deck. We're getting closer to drawing everything, playing ghost ship every turn. That's what we want. That's what we want. So we're trying to get there. My opponent here discards a ghost ship here instead of playing it. I'm not sure why he did that. Perhaps it had something to do with what he top decked. But I feel like once you have a ghost ship in hand, you want to play it. As it is, he discards for a gold. And finally, it seems like I'm able to draw everything here. There's 2 Scrying Pools left in the deck. Maybe I could see them. I even have this Spice Merchant to trash a copper here to draw forward, should I need to, and I do need to. And I am able to see the Scrying Pool, and it draws me into the remainder of my deck. So finally, I'm able to draw everything. I have a couple of goals that I'm drawing. I have no more coppers left in my deck. The Spice Merchant is still a fine card in my deck because I can trash one of these treasures, the gold or the silver, should I need to in a sticky situation. And picking up golds is not a problem for me here. Look, with this hand, I can pick up 2 golds via quest. Cheapest I ever paid for gold. So here now I have enough money to do what I want to do, right? What I want to do is province 1, Scrying Pool 2, and then quest 3, 4. That's a lot of money. If I'm able to see everything next turn, perhaps I can definitely double province, perhaps triple province. But I have a lot of options now with my big stack of coin tokens. My opponent also has a stack of coin tokens, so I have to be wary of him in the end game here. Maybe he could double province on a freak turn, and I have to take that into consideration. Piles will not run, so I don't have to worry about that. I just have to worry about the province pile. Remember, we are using this as an opportunity to sharpen our end game. So he does buy a province here. It does mean that I am not going to pick up double province. If I can pick up triple province, I will. But if I can only pick up double province, I will not. I'm not sure what my play would be here. Perhaps just duchies at this point and then maybe go after the provinces, because I do not want to give my opponent a free win on double province, as unlikely as it seems. I don't want to do that. Anyways, my opponent doesn't give me the opportunity to screw up in the endgame. He resigns here, seeing that I'll draw everything, and that is how game 2 ends in the league. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you.